Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is the course on open source software. Today we will be discussing module number 9, that is text editors. In this module we will briefly summarize all the editors that are available with Linux, and our focus will be on learning Vim editor. Vim editor or VI editor, it is an alias. So, our focus will be on learning Vim editor, and finally we will summarize with a similar editor, that is GNU Emacs editor. So, let us begin with the concepts of text editors. What is a text editor? It is a program that allows you to type plain text files. Why do we need plain text? Being a system administrator, he has to deal with various configuration files. The conf files are in etc directories. Those files, they are plain text files. Similarly, a program is always in a text file. The source code, either it is C, C++, Java, or it may be shell programs, they are all plain text files. So, being a programmer or a system administrator, they always deal with text files. So, let us see what is a text editor. Let us try to classify the text editors, and let us differentiate between text editor and processors like MS Word or LibreOffice Writer. So, a text editor allows you to type text. There are some basic functionalities. You can search for a text, you can replace, and you can save those files. Simple text editors in Windows, there are Notepad, WordPad, they are basic simple text editors. In Linux, there are similar basic text editors like gedit, kwrite, k8 and so on. So, those are the graphical editors. Gedit, kwrite, they are graphical editors and they are similar to the Notepad editor that is found in Windows. These editors, they do not require any skills. A layman can start typing in those editors and they can finally save that particular file. Now, when we talk about MS Word, it is a package or it is an application. Apart from typing the text, you can do a lot of other things, like you can create bold fonts, you can make it italics, you can do mail merge. There are various operations which can be done in Word. It is a publishing kind of software. In Word, there are lot of functionalities, but they are of no use for programmers or system administrators, because they are always dealing with system files or source code. Again, if you are trying to format your source code, suppose you are trying to make it bold or italics, then it may create hassles. The programming language may not be able to compile those particular source codes. So, using Word or similar kind of softwares are not advisable when you are a programmer or a system admin. Now, what should be used? As I said, kwrite, k8, gedit, these are the primary basic text editors. You can use those editors, you can type your programs in it. But if you are a professional programmer or a system admin who deals with lot of files, then it is preferable to use Vim editor. Vim is a highly sophisticated editor in which it provides lot of functionalities. You can create shortcuts, you can create abbreviations, you can customize the editor, you can easily search, replace text, you can comment block of source code at the same time, you can manage buffers. So, if I want to copy from 5 different files and paste into one file, I can do it at a single instance. That is why VI editor or Vim editor, it is highly preferable for the programmers or system admins. Apart from Vim editor, there is a similar Emacs editor. Emacs editor is also providing such kind of functionalities, but the mode of operations are different. So, if you are good in Vim editor, there is no need to learn Emacs. If you are good in Emacs editor, again you need not learn Vim editor. Either of the editor is fine. However, a curious learner can learn each of these editors and they can experiment with them. So, let us begin our discussion with Vim editor. Vim editor, it is an improved version of VI editor. Earlier Unix distributions, they had VI editor which was improved, and now it is Vim. It is almost backward compatible with VI editor. So, if you are working with VI editor, you will not face any difficulty in Vim editor. Now, why Vim editor is bit different? As you know, I will take an analogy. As you know, if you are trying to drive a car, there are gears. There is a forward gear, backward gear. You have to be conversant with the gearing mechanism. Without learning how to shift gears, it will be difficult to drive a car. I will compare Vim editor to such kind of gear vehicle. Those vehicle in which there are gears, initially you may feel difficulty while setting reflexes. We may not know whether we are in the first gear or we are in the reverse gear. It will be bit difficult, but gradually we become conversant and our reflexes will set. Similarly, VI editor, there are 3 modes. Why there are 3 modes? When you want to type, there is particular mode. When you want to navigate or when you want to search or replace, there is another mode, and when you want to do some customization, there is third mode. So, initially it will be little bit difficult to learn whether you are in a particular mode or some other mode, but we will try to explore the commands and features of how to change these particular modes. Why these modes were made? Why not simple typing was preferred? Now, in earlier days the computers were very small. There were small terminals, we used to call them dumb terminals. There was no mouse, keyboards were very small, hardly there were arrow keys or delete keys. So, the developer of VI editor thought of using the alphabet keys for navigation and such kind of purposes. The developer thought, let us use keys H, J, K, L for navigation, that is like arrow keys. Using the keys H, J, K, L, you can navigate through the screen. So, they have used different modes. In command mode, you can use H, J, K, L to move in any direction, upwards, downwards, left or right. But if you are in insert mode and if you press H, the character will be typed. So, in VI editor there are 3 modes. First is command mode, through which you can navigate the screen, you can perform operations like deleting or editing a text. Second mode is insert mode or input mode, in which we can type the characters or digits. The second mode allows you to type your program. The third mode is EX mode or last line mode. It is used whenever you want to save a file or you want to customize VI editor. So, there are 3 modes. First is command mode, then there is insert mode and there is EX mode. Now, how do we start VI editor? So, from the command prompt, when you say vim and some file name, it will open VI editor. Either you can say vim and file name or you can say vi and file name. In most of the modern Linux distros, vi is alias to vim. So, even if you type vi and file name, a new file will be created in Vim editor. Now, these files, if it already exists, you can see the content, and if the file does not exist, it will be a blank screen with some tilde sign which indicates it is a blank file. So, by default, as soon as you enter VI editor, you are in command mode. Now, if you try to type some character, you will not be able to type because you are in command mode. Command mode is specifically for navigation or perform some operations like deleting and so on. If you want to type, you have to move on to insert mode or input mode. So, by default you are in command mode. If I want to type programs, I have to leave command mode and I have to move into the insert mode. For this you can press small I. If you press small I in command mode, you will go into the insert mode. Now, whatever you type will be shown on the screen. So, from command mode to insert mode, character I can be used. So, the first time when you press I will not be reflected, but your mode will be changed. Now, there are various characters which can be used. Not only I, you can type small o, capital O, small r, capital R, small I, capital I, small s, capital S, small a, capital A, and so on. It is easy to remember. You can remember by the name Orisa, small Orisa, capital Orisa. So, either of these characters and you will move from command mode to the insert mode. Now, why do we need so many characters? Why not single character? Suppose the cursor is at a particular location and you want to type at the top of that location, or you want to type at the bottom of location, then small o will open a new line at the bottom, capital O will open the new line at the top of that position. If the cursor is at a position, you want to append, then there is A. You want to type at the same position, then there is I. So, depending on the position from where you want to begin typing, these different characters are there. So, these are the different commands, Orisa in lower case, Orisa in upper case. These are the commands which can be done in VI editor. Now, suppose you have entered into insert mode and you want to come back to the command mode. So, just by pressing escape key, you will be coming back to the command mode. So, that is one cycle. From command mode to insert mode, you can type either of the characters of Orisa, and to come back you have to press escape key. So, it is analogous to changing gears. From one mode you are going to another mode and you are coming back. If you want to go into EX mode, you have to type colon. So, by typing colon, from command mode you will go into EX mode. When you are in EX mode, you can see the colon sign at the last bottommost line of the VI editor. That is why EX mode is also known as last line mode. When you are in last line mode, you can type commands to save your file, you can type commands to search particular string or replace string. So, in EX mode, it indicates colon sign and you will be at the last bottommost line. Again, from EX mode, you want to go back to the command mode, you can press escape key. So, just by pressing escape key, again you will go back to the command mode and you can navigate your program. Now, VI editor, you can quit from command mode or you can also quit from EX mode. So, quitting VI editor can be from either command mode or EX mode. It depends whether you want to save and quit or you want to just quit from the VI editor. There are few issues while you are using VI editor. A layman may face such kind of issues. What happens? Suppose if you are typing some particular source code and there is power failure, or you are typing from a remote machine to some server and the network connection goes off. So, whatever you have typed, it goes into the buffer. VI editor uses buffer to place your intermediate typed content. In case of failure, the buffer becomes .swp file, that is swap file. Whenever the power is restored and you try to open that particular file, you will be prompted whether you want to recover or you want to type a fresh file. So, this becomes bit tricky. If the content is in buffer and there is some power break, you must know how to recover from the swap file to the original file. It is easier to experiment with such cases if it is your system is in network. So, now let us go into depth of command mode and let us learn how to navigate in the VI editor. So, in command mode, if you want to navigate, there are keys like H, J, K, L and so on. The key H or backspace moves the cursor to left position by one character. L or space moves the cursor to the right position by one character. K moves cursor up by one line. The key J moves cursor down by one line. The plus sign or enter moves cursor down by one line and places at the beginning of that line. The minus sign moves the cursor up by one line and places at the beginning of the line. So, this is about cursor movement. Now, let us see how cursor moves across words. W moves the cursor forward to the first character of next word. E moves the cursor forward to the last character of the current word. B moves the cursor backward to the first character of current word or previous word. It must be noted that all these characters must be typed in small letters, that is in lower case. Let us see some other movements moving to the end of lines. So, the dollar sign moves the cursor to the end of current line. 0 or pipe symbol moves the cursor to the beginning of current line. The caret symbol moves the cursor to the first non-blank character at the beginning of current line. So, this is about navigating the screen in command mode. Now, let us see how to move across screens. Suppose your VI editor contains entire screen full of files. The best example is you can check out the etc passwd file. It contains entire screen. So, by pressing H, that is capital H, the cursor moves to the topmost line of the screen. Capital M moves the cursor to the middle line of the screen. Capital L moves the cursor to the bottommost line of the screen. To move across screens, Control F scrolls the screen forward, Control B scrolls the screen backward, Control U scrolls the screen by half upwards, Control D scrolls the screen by half downwards. Over here, the characters that are used with control are in small cases, that is in lower case. Now, if you want to jump to a line, we say go to a line. Capital G is used to go to a particular line. So, when you say 5G, the cursor will go to the fifth line. When you say $G, the cursor moves to the last line of the file, and simply capital G moves the cursor to the beginning of the last line, that is end of the file. This is a very good tool for the programmers, because the programmer may go directly to a particular line due to some error. If you are writing a C program that is of 500 lines and the error is on line number 350, this capital G will allow you to go directly to that particular line. So, if you want to reach the 350th line, we say 350 and uppercase G. So, your cursor will directly go to that particular line. This is one of the feature that is with Vim and which may not be found in word processors or similar software. Now, let us see how deleting takes place in Vim. Capital X and small x, they are used for deleting a single character. Small x, that is in lower case, deletes a single character at cursor position. Uppercase X deletes a single character previous to cursor position. There is a concept of repeat factor. So, along with number, when we say x, it deletes those many number of characters. For example, if I say 4x, then 4 characters will be deleted. This repeat factor is again a very powerful feature of Vim editor. To delete a line, the command is dd, twice d, it must be in lower case. To delete a word, the command is dw, again it is in lower case. Now, suppose I want to delete 5 lines, I will say 5 dd. So, from the current cursor position, 5 lines will be deleted. You can explore more how to delete lines, delete words in your some temporary file. Please do not try with the original configuration files or the etc passwd files. Let us move forward and learn how to copy and paste content. In Linux, copy is known as yank, Y-A-N-K. So, yanking and pasting is similar to copy paste in some other similar softwares. To copy, YY command is used. Again it is in lower case. So, whenever you say YY, it copies one line from the current cursor position, and when we say P, it pastes that particular line at the current cursor position. To copy a single character, it is small y. So, if I want to copy 4 characters, I will say 4y. If I want to copy a word, I will say YW, and if I want to copy a line, I will say YY. To copy 4 lines, I will say 4YY. To copy from cursor position to the end of line, I will type Y and dollar. Again this Y is in lower case, so it will be Y and dollar sign to copy from current cursor position to the end of line. If I type P, it puts the copied or deleted text after or below the cursor position. If I type P in uppercase, it puts the copied or deleted text before or above the cursor position, and if I type 4P, it pastes the content 4 times. So, this is again another powerful feature. I can copy n number of lines, I can paste n number of lines and n number of times. You can see this is how repeat factors can be used. Now, let us move ahead and see how to copy and paste across multiple buffers. As shown in the screen, you can create different buffers. Let us create 2 buffers, A and B. Now, when you want to create buffer, you have to prefix with double quotes. So, it will be double quotes A that indicates buffer A, double quotes B will indicate buffer B. Over here, we will copy from 2 files and paste into the third file. So, we will use 2 buffers A and B. From the first file, we will copy 2 lines, second file we will copy 4 lines. So, the command will be double quotes A to YY, everything is in lower case. Again go to another desired block and issue the command B for YY. So, we have 2 buffers A and B, each buffer A has 2 lines copied, B has 4 lines copied respectively. You can go to another file, and when you say double quotes AP, it will paste the buffer content of A. When you say double quotes BP, it will paste the buffer contents of B. So, the contents of A are 2 lines and B are 4 lines. So, in all 6 lines will be pasted at your desired position. Here double quotes is required, otherwise A and B will be treated as commands. Let us move forward and see how to change the case. Tilde sign is used to change case. It is used to toggle case. So, tilde, if the case is in uppercase, it becomes lower case. If it is in lower, it becomes uppercase, that is toggling of case. U is used to change case. GU, if the U is in lower case, the case will be lower. If GU is in uppercase, then the case will be changed to the uppercase. Here U is important. If U is lower, it will be lower. If U is uppercase, the case will be changed to uppercase. For undoing and repeating, small u is used. Now, over here small u is not prefixed with any other character. So, changing case it was GU, but when we want to undo, it is simple U. Small u and capital U can be used for undo and repeat. Dot is a command which repeats the previous operations. So, if you type hello and if you say dot, the same content will be repeated. So, there will be 2 lines hello, and when you say dot, it will again type the same content. If you say 4 dot, then hello will be typed 4 times. So, dot is a repeat factor. Now, let us move ahead to search and replace functionality of Vim. As I said, VM or Vim editor is very powerful. It can use regular expressions for search and replace. Again, it must be noted, by default the search is case sensitive. You have to customize the Vim editor if you want to ignore case. To customize VI editor, in the last line mode we say set ignore case, so that VI editor will ignore case while you are searching. Again, if you want to reverse the command, we say set no ignore case. So, this is about customizing the VI editor in the last line mode. There are few other commands to customize VI editor. For instance, you can put line numbers, or you can put abbreviations, or you can create shortcut keys. All these things are discussed in additional reading material. Now, coming back to the searching, forward slash is used to search a particular string in forward position. Question mark is used to search a string in backward position. So, if you have typed a biodata and I want to search India, then I will give forward slash and India. So, from your biodata it will try to search in forward direction. If I am at the last line and I want to go to the upwards direction, I will type question mark and India to move my search to upper direction, that is upwards. Small n repeats the last search command. Capital N repeats the last search command in opposite direction. So, this is about search functionality. Now, how do we replace when you are using search? In Linux, when we say replace, it is substitute. So, there is a command small s or lowercase s which is used for substitute. To substitute, we have to provide two things, that is old pattern and new pattern. Again, substitute is done in the last line mode. So, to substitute old pattern with the new pattern, the command will be :s/old/new. This will substitute the first occurrence of the old string with the new string. If you want to substitute all the occurrences of old string with the new string, we give the command :s/old/new/g. The last small g is for global. If I want to substitute all occurrences of old string with new string from lines m to n, the command will be :m, n s/old/new/g. Between n and s there has to be a blank space. Similarly, there are commands to substitute from the first line to the end of file, from the first line to the current line, and from the current line to the end of file. From the presentation, you can see various commands that can search for these particular combinations. There is an additional feature. If you want to replace with confirmation, we use G and C with the substitute command. Confirmation means it will ask you whether you want to replace or not. So, suppose out of 5 strings you want to replace 2 strings, then we usually use GC as the suffix in the substitute command. So, the syntax will be :old/new/gc. C is for confirmation. Now, these search and replace facilities, they use regular expressions. So, a pattern can be searched like whether the pattern begins in a file, whether it ends in a file, and so on. Whether a pattern starts with A, B, C, D, or a pattern does not start with A, B, C, D, these all patterns can be given in the search and replace commands. Additional material will help you to identify all these patterns. Coming to the saving of file, as I said, VI creates a buffer, and occasionally we have to write the buffer content into the file. So, in the last line mode, :w will help to write the changes that are made to the file into the hard disk. :wq will help to write and quit. So, if you want to exit the VI editor, we usually say :wq. Again, it must be noted that W and Q are in lower case. If you want to discard the changes, the command is colon q and exclamation sign. Whatever modifications you have made, it will not go into the file and it will be discarded. Colon q is used to quit the editor with no changes are made. So, if you are using a read only file, you can simply say colon q and the editor will be quit. You will be again given the command prompt. If you want to write into some another file, suppose you are existing some sample.txt and you want to write the content into new file.txt, we usually say colon w space new file.txt. So, the content will be written to some other file. Similarly, colon w exclamation new file.txt will override the changes to the new file. There are other commands in which you can select particular lines, say you can write from 10th line to 20th line in a particular file. You can see the slides and experiment with those commands. So, I hope with these commands you will appreciate the use of VI editor. Now, those who do not want to use VI editor, there is a simple nano editor. Nano editor was developed on the lines of Pico editor. Pico was a simple small email program editing functionality. Nano editor is almost similar to the edit command of Windows. In Nano editor, it is a screen editor. There is no hassle of changing mode. You can simply type and there are few commands like Control X and so on, they are visible at the bottom of the line. So, after typing the content, you can exit the editor or you can save changes to the editor. If you are a professional programmer, VI is the ultimate editor. Otherwise, for beginning purpose, you can start with Nano editor. There is one more editor, that is Emacs. Emacs editor, initially it was known as Emacs Gosling, which was provided with Unix. Later on, Richard Stallman rewrote this Emacs editor and now it is under GNU license. So, Emacs is a completely free editor under GNU license, that is why we say GNU Emacs. The functionalities that we have discussed in VI editor are also provided in Emacs editor, but it is modeless editor, there are no modes. So, how do we use Emacs editor? Instead of modes, they have used two keys, that is C and M. Whenever we want to do particular operation, it will be a combination of CX, that is control and some character X, or it may be MX, M is a meta key. So, with various combinations like control F, control C, control X, you can do different operations in the editor. So, there are two keys which needs to be memorized, CX combinations and MX combinations. The CX combination will be some combination with control key and MX combination will be some combination with alter key or escape key. M may be either alter key or escape key. A comprehensive list of commands for Emacs editor is also given in the reference reading material. Alternatively, you can go through the website to find manuals of Emacs editor. So, to summarize, we started our conversation with what is an editor, what are the different types of editors. Then I introduced Vim editor, we went through lot of functionalities of Vim editor. We can do operations like navigation, deletion, copy, paste, etc. in Vim editor. So, there are three modes: command modes, insert mode and EX mode, which we have already discussed. And finally, we ended our discussion with the Emacs editor. It is your choice, you can use whatever editor you wish to. If you are a programmer or if you want to become a skilled programmer, I would recommend either using VI editor or Emacs editor. So, we will see how programming is done in the 13th module, 14th and 15th module, that is about bash shell scripting. When you will study these modules, you will be comfortable doing the programming in Vim editor. Thank you.